If you're watching this video, you're either a quiet person or you know someone who's more introverted. Introverted personalities are often misunderstood, so this video will go over 8 new facts about quiet people, some of which have surfaced due to the pandemic. A quick disclaimer, some of the points listed in this video are more like generalizations, since there isn't enough data yet to certify them as facts, so if you disagree with some of them, comment below to let me know. 1. Quiet people suffer just like extroverts when isolated for too long. With the current state of the world, many people had to quarantine and isolate themselves. Whether you are introverted or extroverted, being isolated isn't fun. Common knowledge says that introverts recharge their energy by being alone, but it is also known that isolation for long periods of time is dangerous. Being isolated can lead to feeling lonely, which can cause an increased risk of premature death from all causes. Being isolated also hurts your health by lowering your sleep quality and cognitive function. The bottom line is that even though introverts may enjoy being alone, if they are isolated and forced to spend too much time alone, their mental and physical health will suffer, just like extroverts. Everyone is suffering from the pandemic, so be sure to check up on your friends and talk to them. 2. Quiet people find socializing digitally extremely tiring. Before the pandemic hit, there were multiple ways you were able to socialize with people, but now, there's pretty much only one way, which is through video communications like Zoom. Meaningful interactions like meetings are done through video conferences, and the so-called Zoom fatigue is a real thing that impacts both introverts and extroverts. Someone more quiet may find video conferences extremely hard to deal with, because all the rules of normal face-to-face conversation don't apply. It's hard to know when to speak up, and it's extremely hard to read people through video conferences, since you're just staring at a bunch of faces at once, or black boxes if no one has their webcam on. Introverts depend on visual information to get through conversations, and in a video call, there's either too much information or too little. 3. Quiet people don't like the new face-to-face interactions either. In a socially distanced get-together, everyone is a few feet apart and wearing masks. Someone more introverted will find it hard to interact with others in this new setting, because it's extremely hard to read people and figure out social cues through a mask. Touching someone is also highly discouraged, which takes away even more information from those who like to observe. Introverts often depend on that kind of information to get through conversations, and without them, conversations can feel difficult. 4. Quiet people are often more sensitive than extroverts. This is another reason why introverts are struggling through the pandemic. There seems to be bad news regarding the pandemic every other day, and each piece of bad news really eats away at them. If you're more introverted, try to consume the news less to make sure your mental health is good. If you're more extroverted, check up on your introverted friends to make sure they're doing okay. 5. Quiet people want company just as much as extroverts. They just prefer it in small doses or with those close to them. Due to the pandemic, many introverts realize that they want to be around people more often than they thought. It is known that introverts often get tired from long social interactions, but that is only the case when they are meeting a lot of new people. When a quiet person is spending time with those they are close with, they usually have a good time and don't get tired that quickly. On the other hand, even if someone more introverted loves meeting new people, they will require breaks in between social interactions when they are not with those they are close with. Just because someone is more quiet doesn't mean they always want to be alone. They might just be preparing for more social interactions. 6. In a group conversation setting, quiet people tend to not pitch in as much. Even though they have their own thoughts on the subject matter, someone more introverted tends to keep their thoughts to themselves. They might prefer to observe the group dynamic instead of actively talking, or to only speak up when necessary. If you want the quiet person to talk more during a group conversation, you'll need to ask for their opinion and direct some questions towards them. You might be surprised to find out they actually have a lot to share. 7. Quiet people don't like staying home all day. Quiet people like staying home, but they also need some variety in their lives, like going on walks in the park alone. A lot of people think that quiet people only like staying home and don't like going outside, but that is far from the truth. If you're more introverted, you might have thought the same thing until the pandemic hit. At the peak of the pandemic, many introverts started missing variety in their lives. Staring at the same walls for the majority of the week is painful for everyone, whether you're introverted or extroverted. The reason why staying home is appealing to introverts is because it means that they get to take a break from all kinds of social interactions, but in the pandemic, home is more like a prison that you can't escape. Thankfully, things are a lot better now, and you can go outside for walks and other stuff, as long as you have a mask on. 8. Quiet people have found it harder to process information during the pandemic. In a normal face-to-face conversation, you can break away from the conversation to take a break and process information. However, during the pandemic and video calls, there isn't any space to break away to process the information. Also, before the pandemic, many introverts found home as a safe space where they can process information from social interactions. However, due to the new quarantine rules, quiet people have found it harder to process information at home, because home is where most social interactions take place in now. Try to give your introvert friends or coworkers some space if you can. Do you agree with all the claims in this video? Leave a comment below, and check out the video shown on the end screen for more facts about quiet people.